They told you education is the key. They said, go to school. But why are so many graduates purposeless and jobless? On EduShift, we spot the cracks. We challenge the educational system. Turn between science, arts, and commerce. We bring clarity and answers to your questions, and we light up the path for a generation ready to stand out. Come enjoy discussions with educators, employers, and counselors. Let us fix this problem of career misalignment and help you discover yourself. EduShift, only on Global TV.
Hello there, and welcome to another episode of EduShift, where we help you shift towards education that aligns with purpose. I am your host, Priscilla Obasi. And remember, we don't just talk education here. No, we're actually here to question the wrong narratives. We're here to rethink it and to prepare for a future that education is shaping. I am your host, Priscilla Obasi, and today we're talking about something almost every Nigerian family has experienced in one way or the other. Very relatable, yes, and that is the admission, the pressure admission. That means the pressure to get admitted into maybe our educational institutions across different levels. Now, there's also the pressure to pass. There's also that pressure to make it. So our topic today is the admission race, merits, opportunities, and the future of Nigerian education. In this conversation, it will actually go beyond just JAM. Yes, because admission does not start from the tertiary institution. The admission race in Nigeria does not begin there. It actually starts much earlier. Sometimes from the moment a child is about to enter nursery school, I mean about to start school, about to go for crèche, the parents will sit, reflect on the best of schools that suits my child, to entrance examinations, to class rankings, to competition, comparison, constantly comparing, and the pressure that comes with all of this. By the time many children reach the university age, after going through all of this, they are no longer simply learning. The pressure has become intense. They now begin to survive a system. So today we're asking, are we preparing children for life, or are we just preparing them for admission at different levels? Does merit truly determine opportunity in Nigeria? Is our education system becoming too competitive, too early? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? And what kind of future are we building when education becomes a race instead of a journey, a gradual journey? So stay with me. Let us start at that very point where the race begins, right? So, from the beginning, a child that is barely 3 years old, and the parents are already searching for schools. In today's world, you even find children as early as 1 year old in crèches because of the constant economic pressure that puts a mother out there to want to support financially in the home. So, to an extent, it's quite valid. Yeah, we would say that it's quite valid. So at that stage of life, parents are already searching for the best schools, the best curriculum, the best advantage. Intentional parents, by the way. Why? Because everybody wants their child to be ahead. Everybody wants their child to be ahead academically, socially, and if we follow that pattern, childhood starts becoming performance. Some children are overloaded quite early. You have excessive lessons, tutoring, multiple activities. To crown it up, unrealistic expectation. So that is why we're having this conversation today, because when you put a child through all of this, you find all the reactive responses, not because the child is actually struggling, but because the system has conditioned parents to fear falling behind, to not want to be the last, And this is where the admission race quietly begins. Not JAMB, again, not at WAEC, but in the mindset that says, if my child is not ahead, my child is losing. So when we go from early years, go through crèche, go through nursery, some schools call it key stage 1, key stage 2, nursery 1, nursery 2, whatever the case may be, and we now go into primary school. The comparison heightens, right? So moving to primary education. Ultimately, or primarily, this should be a stage where children should explore. It's a stage where children should ask questions, should build confidence, discover their interests. But instead of all of this, what we find is many children begin to get trapped in ranking systems, in that constant comparison, academic pressure. When did I come first? Who scored highest? Who came first? Who is the best in the class? And slowly, gradually, education becomes less about understanding and more about outperforming others. Should this be the case? Absolutely no. Now, competition is not entirely bad. Competition can actually motivate growth. I totally agree. But when children begin attaching their worth to grades alone, we create anxiety very early, I must say. A child who comes fifth begins to feel less intelligent. A child who struggles academically may begin to believe I am not good enough. Meanwhile, that child may possess creative, talent, leadership skills, communication skills, innovation potential. But because the system measures only one kind of intelligence, many gifts go unnoticed. Again, that is why we're having this conversation. Now, we have just highlighted what happens in the primary school right now. Next, we go to the secondary school. This is that point where, the pressure actually intensifies. At this point, you're talking WAEC, you're thinking about NECO, external tutorials, career expectations. I met with a journalist recently, and we're having a conversation. I asked, he was at that verge of trying to further his education, master's level. And in that speech, he was asking me, I don't know what to do. I had my first degree in physics, and now I think I need to go into journalism and all of that. This is someone that has his first degree, obviously, a graduate, and is still at that point of confusion. Life may be going not so bad for him, but the confusion is real. And all of this started from that pressure to finish school fast, to write jam when your mates are writing it, to go to school when your mates are going to school, to get admission because your friend has gotten admission. You do not understand, or a lot of parents don't understand, that everybody's time is different. Everybody needs to ultimately sit with themselves. You need to help your children sit with them and understand their journey. You may not know it fully, but you can guide them. It is not about pressure to meet up with your friends or what your other classmates are doing. No, it's about understanding your journey fully well, to take it step at a time. Now, I just shared all of this to let you know that if you're not able to figure it out at this stage, it becomes ultimately a problem. Then sadly, many students are not learning out of curiosity anymore. They're actually learning out of fear. The fear that they'll be left behind, the fear that they will fail, the fear to disappoint parents, the fear to miss admission, as I said, that fear to be left behind. The pressure creates dangerous consequences. And some of those consequences, of course, you would expect, because students will start to lose their confidence. Students will start to develop anxiety. These are some of the consequences. They stop enjoying learning altogether because of the pressure. So, can we reduce the pressure? And on the other hand, others begin to seek shortcuts. malpractice, cheating, runs, everything to make it work. But I mean, I don't have to put in all the hard work because I am not well equipped for the hard work. I'm not well equipped to make it work. I'm not well equipped to come out with that fantastic grade. But I have to impress my parents. So why not cheat? Why not, engage in malpractice? Why not just do the shortcut, go through that cut that corner? Ultimately, my parents will still be happy. So, and they begin to explore such dangerous path because of a system that is obsessed with results, a system that has been built to compete. Character will begin to suffer in the process, and this is one of the biggest dangers of the admission race. We go from that point to JAMB and national obsession with admission. We've highlighted that, but they will come to a stage that most Nigerians know too well, and that is the stage where they get to write JAMB, WAEC, NECO, and the rest of those examinations. Every year, millions of young Nigerians actually sit for one examination, one exam that many people believe will determine their future, their worth, and their opportunities because university spaces are limited. So the competition becomes intense. And recently, JAMB Admission and Matriculation Board announced a 150 score as the minimum benchmark for university admissions. Immediately, the debates began. Some people said, oh, it's quite low. Others said, oh, it is fair. And maybe the bigger question is this: should one score alone define educational potential? Let us be honest with ourselves. If we put everyone in a box and say, oh, this is the score that should determine this, we already know that a student may struggle with standardized exams, but can actually excel practically. And another may actually score high, but actually lack the real-life problem-solving skill. So at the end of the day, we're asking, are we producing exam-smart students or life-ready students? What is the basis for our judgment? So if you allow your growth, if you allow your educational path and career to be set on such standards, instead of looking forward to learning things for yourself, growing, you are at that point looking for who scored higher or who is not able to score high, or all of those funny arguments. That is where you get to miss it. So it's not a one size fits all. Our journeys are different. We want to have a system that accommodates everyone into the university, but at the same time our paths are different. There's no basis for comparison. There is merit versus opportunity in the system, and this is where the conversation becomes deeper too. People often say, if you work hard, you will succeed. But not every child actually starts from the same place too. Some students attend good schools, some have internet access, some have private lesson teachers. A lot of students, or some students, have supportive environment. Others, on the other hand, do not. Yes. So when we talk about merit, again, when we talk about merit, what are we defining as merit? We must also talk about the opportunities, right? Two children may be equally intelligent, but they do not have equal access. A child in an urban private school may have CBT exposure, digital literacy, experienced teachers, while another child in the rural area will struggle with overcrowded classrooms, lack of electricity, shortage of teachers, and yet you are equating yourself or you're trying to compete equally. How is that even possible? So it clearly tells you that it is not just about intelligence, right? It is also about access, right? So we need to have a system that considers all of this. It's not going to be a one-time thing. I believe that as we progress, all of these things will be fixed because it's expected that we should develop. Development should, get to the nooks and crannies of the country. So we are hopeful that one day we'll be able to judge these things fairly. But at the end of the day, admission is not the end. And that is one thing we must know. regardless of the constant comparison, the rat race, it is just a means. Yes. When students finally get admitted into school, of course, you want to celebrate. Your families may even feel relieved. You post your wonderful, beautiful pictures. But the reality is that it's not success. It's not automatic success. It only gives you access because many students enter university without clarity based on that competitiveness that has been created in the system. They enter without purpose, again, based on that structure. They enter without clear direction. Some will choose courses because their parents insisted, because there is no longer time to think and figure out yourself, because society has actually pressured you to feel, oh, I think you're intelligent, you need to be in the science class. I think you are not intelligent, you need to go to the art class, and all of those funny conclusions. Based on the cutoff mark, you say, oh, I had a 150, the medicine of my dream. Instead of waiting 1 year, can I just go to school and study something? And you go do something that you're not passionate enough for. Of course, you know what to expect from it. Well, if you don't know, you know that it's going to be a struggle, a lifetime struggle. Yes, if you're not someone that is willing to actually put your head down to adapt. So cutoff marks also force alternatives, and it creates another problem. Graduates disconnected from their purpose. So what we're saying is, you don't need to join in the rat race. Instead, education should not pressure students to pass exams and gain admission. No, it should prepare them to be able to think critically, to be able to solve problems, to be able to communicate effectively. These are the basics. It doesn't sound so now, but for every Nigerian graduate that have waited in the labor market for a good number of years, they would understand. It should create an ability for you to discover your purpose, to contribute meaningfully to the society. If you go through primary, secondary, and tertiary education and you've not been able to do this, then you probably have been doing the wrong thing all the while. The future of Nigerian education cannot just survive only on your memorization skills, on your ability to be the first to graduate at, to gain admission and to graduate at an early age, or the pressure alone. We also need innovation, flexibility, emotional intelligence, skills, creativity, and all of it. So we need to change. For parents, I would say, let us reduce unhealthy pressure. Let us stop comparing children, value multiple forms of intelligence. And for schools, I would say, prioritize holistic development, support mental well-being, teach beyond examination. And of course, to the government, I would say, improve access. Yes, we need to do more. We need to strengthen the public education system and reduce inequality in opportunities. Lastly, for students, understand that admission is not identity. Build skills alongside academics. Pursue learning and not just scores. Before we wrap it up, I'll join the kids on the edutainment segment. Please stay with us.
It's edutainment time on EduShift.
The 4 young cheaters have the advantage, but they don't know where to begin with such a big prey. While they try to coordinate their attack, the bull sees an opening and limps out. They've lost an easy meal due to the one skill they didn't learn: teamwork. Only one cat knows how that's done. The lion, the only team player in the entire cat family. The lion has mastered a skill truly unique in the cat world.
The lion's trump card is a group hunt.
A lone lioness kills only once in 5 attempts, whereas a pride brings down its prey in 1 of 3 hunts. Amplifying the advantages of its body size and strength. A lion uses teamwork to regularly bring down a prey 6 times its size. The Cape Buffalo. A buffalo is the ultimate prey. It weighs up to 1,500 pounds and has horns that are 3 feet wide from tip to tip. And it's not afraid to use them. Buffalo wound more lions than any other prey species. So, hunting this beast requires a game plan. The pride will follow an age-old strategy. Lions attack with the precision of a pro football team, with each lion playing the same position time and time again in a hunt.
Thank you very much for still being here with us. I hope this episode has enlightened you. Before we wrap it up, let me leave you with this. Education is not supposed to be a race where only a few survive. It should be a journey where every child has the opportunity to grow. Because when we turn education into endless competition, we may produce graduates but lose children in the process to a very large extent. I want to say thank you very much to our viewers for tuning in. I remain your host, Priscilla Obasi. Remember, a child's future should not be only defined by its core, but by opportunities, purpose, and potential they are given to grow. Bye.
They told you education is the key. They said, go to school. But why are so many graduates purposeless and jobless? On EduShift, we spot the cracks. We challenge the educational system. Torn between science, arts, and commerce, we bring clarity and answers to your questions, and we light up the path for a generation ready to stand out. Come enjoy discussions with educators, employers, and counselors. Let us fix this problem of career misalignment and help you discover yourself. EduShift, only on Global TV.